Hey, would you look at that? The potato cam actually came on first try today. That's new. So you're gonna hear some dogs barking in the background. That's my neighbor's dogs. You might only hear the louder one. I don't know. I've got my windows open because it finally feels like fall where I live, and I'm not gonna waste that even for a second. Anyway, we're gonna take a look today at the new Steven Universe opening sequence, which has been released to serve as sort of a teaser for the final season of Steven Universe, though not really. We'll talk about that in a minute. Excuse me. I thought about doing a live stream of this, but I didn't really think that a 20-some second video really warranted it. This is the Los Angeles Times YouTube channel version of it. I don't know if it's anywhere else. This is just the one that's been sharing around in Tumblr, so it's the one that I'm most aware of. We're going to watch this together very quickly, and then I'm going to scrum through this a little bit, and we're going to talk about it. It's going to be super fun. Close everything else out real quick, just so this doesn't, like, skip. The video doesn't skip or anything. Alright. Come on. There we go. Okay, that's it. That's literally it. The actual video is probably about 20 seconds long, even though this video itself is 26 seconds. Just FYI for those who want to go back and rewatch it. I don't know why it matters. I do want to say, though, that this section right here, let me replay it real quick. That just looks so freaking good. Like, the animation there looks so good. Like, there's a little bit of weirdness here once it slows down almost to a still frame right before the main group warps away. But for the most part, this looks really good. And we see there's Spinel. She's definitely going to be in the show again. There's Senti and her crew. And there's Lars and his crew. Bunch of old crystal gems chilling out over here. They're all kind of separated from one another. We have the Diamonds in their group, which includes Spinel now. Then we have Lars of the Stars' group. We have the core crystal gems. We have the old school crystal gems. And then we have Senti and her crew. That tells me that also, first of all, we can see gemstones on some of these. What were they? Nephrites? Do they turn out to be nephrites? I don't even freaking remember. We see gemstones here that are not eyeballs, which tells me that unlike what some people were theorizing, Senti's gemstone probably always was her eye. That wasn't something that was caused by her corruption. For those who are wondering, this is Snowflake Obsidian. This is one of the characters that Bismuth mentioned. Notice, though, that Bismuth is over here on this side. She's not over here with the other old school crystal gems, which tells me that she's going to be treated from this point forward like a member of the core group, and we're going to be seeing a lot more of her. And then this one over here is Biggs Jasper, I think it was. So, just in case you guys were wondering, those are some of the characters that Bismuth herself mentioned. Like, Biggs is the one that apparently everybody was friends with. And this, I think, might be a corrupted and then uncorrupted amethyst, or a brand of amethyst, I'm not sure. I'm looking forward to getting to know these characters. They're here in the opening, and we saw them in the background of the movie all over the place. So I'm assuming we're going to get to know them pretty well in not quite Season 6. Moving along, I like this right here. And it's bright, and then we skip to this. Some people are saying, don't call them villains, Steven Universe doesn't have villains. Steven Universe does have villains. They just usually end up not being villains eventually. But let's call them antagonists just to make those people happy. This is clearly our lineup of antagonists for this coming season, and I find this to be the most interesting frame of the entire thing. And we will talk about that. First of all, let's go from least interesting to most interesting, shall we? Jasper, despite the fact that I really like Jasper, and I'm glad that she's confirmed to be coming back. Surprise, surprise, it's almost like it was obvious they were going to bring her back. But I find that the least interesting because I thought it was obvious they were going to bring her back. Next most second least interesting. I don't know. I don't know how to say that. The two lapis lazulis over here with different gem placements. Then we have this Steven plant monster, which very interesting to me because Steven would have had to create that himself unless someone got a hold of his spit and made it without his input or something. I don't know. Then we have, trying to decide which one is the next least interesting out of the two that I'm looking at. Let's look at White Diamond over here first, who is not white. And based on sort of the dialogue from Change Your Mind, it was pretty clear that she wasn't always white anyway. That she cast parts of herself aside to make the other diamonds. And that's what caused her to be white and pure. So I'm wondering if this is maybe from a flashback. We're going to get to see a flashback, like she's going to tell her perspective of what it was like to be her before she cast those things aside. Maybe she's holding out on opening up as much as she could, and she has reservations because she used to be like this, because she's definitely being framed as a bad guy here. But, like, I don't know, it's also possible that she could become a bad guy again, and this might be what she looks like there and then. I don't know. I'm very curious about this. It's very interesting. More interesting, though, I think, is this gem over here. Because one of the things that we should keep in mind about all these characters is, aside from this, that is clearly not a gem, because it's clearly a Steven plant, we can see glowing gemstones on all of these characters. There's White Diamond's gem, there's Jasper's gem, there's the two Lapis Lazuli gems. On this, though, which looks like an aquamarine, but not quite like an aquamarine, we see the little teardrop gem, which says that it should be an aquamarine, right? And we don't see another gemstone, but if you look closely, she has 4 legs, which suggests that she's a fusion, or possibly a corruption that was uncorrupted. But I've seen some people suggesting, and I think this is a fantastic idea that's very intriguing, but I've seen some people suggesting that she's a fusion with Eyeball. And that's why we don't see a second gemstone on her, because one of these 2 glowing eyes would be her other gemstone, and that would not only explain the legs, because she's a fusion, but it would also explain the red color that's in here with the regular aquamarine blue. And that would be fascinating. I actually hope that that ends up being the case. It would kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. It would bring back the rubies in a limited capacity, and it would bring back aquamarine. But this guy here, I'm saying guy because it looks kind of masculine, I don't know. This thing here is the most interesting thing in the entire new opening sequence, I think. Because this thing, again, obviously not a gem, so I wouldn't expect to see a gemstone on this. But every other character here has very visible glowing gemstones. This doesn't. And looking at the plant monster and the fact that it doesn't have a gemstone because it's not a gem, that says to me that this thing here doesn't have a gemstone because it's not a gem. And I mean, take a look at it for a second. I wish that dog would stop barking. Take a look at it for a second. It's snaky. It has a person face, kind of. Could this be a Sneeple? I don't know. But a lot of people on the internet, including myself, think that it might be. I also think it's possible that it is a gem, actually, though. But they've hidden its gemstone from us, because somehow seeing its gemstone would be a spoiler. And I may or may not talk about this thing in a whole theory video, so I'm going to leave it at that. But man, I can think of so many cool things that this thing could be, and they're probably all wrong. That's the cool thing about it, is they're probably all wrong. This is probably the only creature, the only antagonist to come this season that isn't going to directly follow from something that's already been in the show. It's probably something at least almost wholly new, and that excites me. It does mean that, even though I'm going to theorize about it, It does mean I'm probably going to be wrong about what I theorize it to be, but I almost don't even care because it looks so cool, and I'm so excited to see what it is. I mean, if it is a Sneeple, let's say, hypothetically, it is a Sneeple. I mean, this is when the Sneeple would come for the gems, because we know from the movie that Yellow Diamond just finished dismantling the gem military. I don't know, I'm very excited about it. Very looking forward to it. Like, I know that Rebecca Sugar has said that, and other members of the crew have said that there's never going to be like a true villain of the show, that there's never going to be something that can't be reasoned with or whatever. But, I mean, the crew also said that Rose was a quartz. So, I mean, maybe this is like the one thing that Steven can't reason with. That'd be super interesting to me. It's going to be super interesting regardless of what it is, though, I think. Let's just continue through here. There is Steven's car. Like, literally, let's go. Garnet riding on top. And I like how everybody has their own way of getting around here, too. Connie, I guess Lion is just Connie's pet now. And then Peridot's really good at her floating over there now. She's being all Static Shock. And, of course, Lapis flies. But Garnet's riding on top of the car. And Bismuth is there. Bismuth is there all over the place in this trailer, this opening sequence / trailer. They want us to know that Bismuth is going to be a major character, because so many people were so mad that she was in so little of the show up to this point. But Steven definitely has a car. This is definitely his car. And he's driving, and I'm very excited about that. Very proud of the guy. This is interesting, too, and we're going to scrub forward for a minute. Dewey's still over here running the donut shop, but like the integration of gems and people, and also the fact that it's no longer Connie standing over here looking in. It's let's be reasonable here and say the least physically capable of the characters that I would consider to be crystal gems standing over here looking in now. That being Greg, and it's Steven driving, showing just how far everybody has come. And all of his friends are following along with him. And then we've got this big background with humans and gems integrated together. There's the ice gem. I think that's supposed to be the ice gem. We can see Vidalia's over here with... Oh shoot, I don't even remember his name. Somebody tell me his name. Because I don't remember. And if you look right back here, Lars is taking a selfie with his parents, which means he's in good spirits with his parents, which is good. But if you look right back here, and I'll try to get a better shot of it in a second, you can see Nanafua has a secret service made up of Ruby guards. It looks like she's got 4 Ruby guards. And then we've got the cool kids. The cool kids apparently now include an uncorrupted Jasper, which is very interesting. Very excited about this. And whereas in the old openings, like, people barely reacted to the equivalent to this drive-by scene, here it's Steven driving by and everybody's all excited to see him. It's very, very exciting, this whole thing. It's like, it's similar enough to the old openings that it's reminiscent of them, but at the same time, it's so different that it acts as a clear milestone for how far not just the characters have come, but the show as a whole. Still have the shooting star, and Connie and Steven are chilling out, and Peridot gets the last word, and it's absolutely adorable. And there's Steven's car again, next to the Greg Mobile. And there it is, Steven Universe Z, Steven Universe Ship It In, Steven Universe Future. Ian himself responded to this, saying that it is definitely a new series, technically speaking. It's a 1-season limited series that acts as a sequel / epilogue to Steven Universe, the show, which is over. Except not really, because this is just a direct continuation of the show after a relatively short time skip, so I'm going to consider it the same show. I know a lot of fans are going to consider it the same show, but I guess technically it's not. And I gotta say, that was a slap in the face I wasn't ready for. Hearing that Steven Universe has a series is technically over, and I didn't even realize. I also am not sure about the new logo. Steven Universe Future is just, you know, whatever. It's an okay title. I don't particularly like it, but I don't hate it. I'm not sure about this logo, though. It's Steven Universe enough, but at the same time, it looks like they were trying to be futuristic, and I don't know, I feel like maybe they tried a little too hard. Though, I gotta say, all things considered, this new opening, even though it's a different theme song, and I don't like it nearly as much as the old one, it does a really good job of advertising the show. They didn't need to release an actual trailer, because this, especially for fans of the show, which, I mean, who's watching at this point who hasn't seen at least some of the show, right? Especially for fans of the show, though, who know the show and know the continuity so well, this acts as a perfect trailer because it advertises everything that's different and teases what's yet to come. I don't know, I don't really have much more to say about it at this point. It's exciting. Exciting enough that I felt like I needed to talk to you guys about it and share a couple of my theories a little bit. And I also thought it was interesting. Let's see if we can find a good shot of it. Steven's not wearing the blue shirt from the movie here, even though this does definitely take place after the movie, because there's Spinel, who also doesn't have her tear stripes anymore, which suggests that she's happy, which is good. I'm happy that she's happy because I want her to be happy because she's a great character. But he's not wearing the blue shirt, he's wearing a Greg shirt. I like that. I mean, I liked the blue shirt a lot, enough that I went and bought one. But I like that he's wearing a Greg shirt. It makes him look more like his dad. And his dad's great. And it makes him look more grown up. And I'm just so... I've never been this proud of a fictional character, man. Steven's just great. It's bumming me out that the end of the show is in sight now. I think it's going to be 32 episodes for this season, this coming season. As far as I know, we don't have a premiere date for Season 6/Season 1 of Steven Universe Future. But I imagine we will get that relatively soon at this point. And my hope is, gosh darn it, that Cartoon Network will finally stop being a big pile of dicks and actually air the whole thing in a semi-regular manner. Not too fast, not too slow, though they could go a little slow if they want, because obviously I don't want it to be over, clearly. But definitely not too fast. Let's not burn off the entire final season of Steven Universe in like 3 weeks or some stupid crap like that. But yeah, as soon as I hear some word on the premiere date for Season 6, I'll let you guys know, obviously. I'm going to be reviewing them day by day, as I have been, well, episode by episode, hopefully not day by day, but episode by episode, as I have been with every episode, every new episode, since I started reviewing episodes of the show. I don't know what I'm going to do yet when it's over, man. Like, not just even speaking from, like, the context of this channel, but, like, in general. My life's going to feel a little more hollow once that point hits. Let's talk about that in the comments down below, because AJ needs to be more depressed than he already is. Alright, that's the video. I'll talk to you guys later.